Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the latest episode of Real Take Real Estate with the Joseph team, where we give you our real take on today's housing market and everything to do with real estate. I'm your host, Maddie Maloney, followed by my co-host,
Joe Sambear.
And today we are so excited to have a very special guest here with us today, Robin Ryan. Robin, we are so excited to have you.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here with the Joseph team. We've had such a great partnership with Dart Bank as our preferred lender, and it's allowed us to serve our clients better, and we really, really appreciate it.
Well, we are so excited to have you on the podcast today, not only to talk about yourself and your real estate career, but also talk a little bit about your specialty in construction and a little bit about our preferred partnership with Eastbrook as well. So we are so excited today. So before we get started, a little bit about Robin. Robin was born and raised in the South. She moved to the greater Lansing area in the early 1980s and quickly found her passion in real estate. Her career began as an assistant to a top producing agent, a short-lived role that was sparked her journey as a residential realtor. After several successful years in real estate, she took a detour to pursue another dream, owning and operating a restaurant, which she ran for 7 years. Eventually, she returned to real estate with a renowned focus and underwent extensive training in new home construction. For the past 21 years, she has specialized in this field, working with 3 semi-production builders. For the last 8 years, she has proudly represented Eastbrook Homes, helping families not just find houses, but homes built with care and quality. She has been married for 37 years and is the proud parent of 4 grown children. Their household also includes 2 dogs and 2 cats, making life full and joyful. She treats her clients like family because to her, building or buying a home is a deeply personal journey, and she is honored to be a part of that journey. Robin, thank you for being on today. We are so excited to have you.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
All right, so we learned a little bit, from that intro about kind of how you got into real estate. So to kick things off, we really wanted to know, what was the moment that kind of sparked you to get into real estate, but also why did you kind of come back? You had that gap, you went into the restaurant industry, but you came back. And so what really brought you back? What is your passion, and when did you find that for real estate?
I think initially I got into real estate. My husband and I had a bad transaction with a realtor, and it didn't make sense to me. And I thought, why would a realtor do that just to make a quick commission? And of course, you never forget a bad transaction.
Of course.
And I came into real estate really as a service person. I didn't look at it as sales. I looked at it, I love people, and I wanted to help people, and I wanted them to have a more protected and good transaction.
And I think that we can find that so many people that I love working with in this industry aren't about the transaction. It's not about the transaction, how much sales you do, but it's about creating that experience and those memories that last and helping people on the journey, which you do such an amazing job of, and why we are so happy to be partners and to work together because you do such an amazing job taking care of your clients. So follow up to that, with being in the industry for the past 21 years now, what's the biggest difference that you've seen in the real estate industry between from when you started from now?
I feel like now there's just so much technology. Things move a lot faster. Access to information's a lot faster. But also I feel like buyers and sellers really need to work with a seasoned, experienced realtor and lender. There's so much information out there on Google. It's not always accurate. And I think that's probably, and I feel like not just in my industry, but in a lot of industries today, people are fighting that challenge of trying to educate people.
Yes.
And protect them.
there's definitely a challenge out there of, there's a lot of clickbait media out there. What's going to get the most attention, what's going to get the most likes and the most views. But then there's also the people, who actually care about it and care about your transaction. And it is kind of hard because with this new generation of home buyers coming in, they want to be prepared. They want to use all the technology and the resources, and they're trying to go out there. And it's hard because there's so much out there. There's so many different sites, whether there's realtor.com, Zillow, just so many different areas. And what we always advocate for, and what I believe you advocate for, is, finding your trusted team, whether that be, your trusted realtor partner, your lender. And what would you say how do you get your name out there then? How do you show your value and make sure that people know, like, hey, I am not just going to treat this as a transaction. I care about you and I care about this experience.
I think that's a great question. And I think it's a question that we all struggle to work with today. Because I also feel like I'm a professional. I don't like to just get media out there that's just bringing attention. I want people to see me as a professional, recognize my expertise, and know that they can trust working with me and I have their best interest. And that's a main reason I love my partnership with DART, because I feel I totally 150% know when I send a client to Joe that they're going to be taken care of. They're going to be taken care of like they were my kid or myself. And so I think that's probably one of the things. I do use Facebook a lot, and I know Facebook's kind of being an old platform, but I've used it for probably since it started, and I love it because it keeps me connected with my past clients. It keeps me up to date on their families. It keeps them connected with me. But I hope after the years that I've been doing real estate, most of my business is generated from referrals. And that always makes me feel really good that it is from, a past client.
Absolutely.
Maddie, you said cares, and I've never met a realtor that cares more about her customers. I mean, that was the key word. Robin is a leader in our community, in our real estate community, that serves. And any other realtor in this community sees her that way, as do her clients. And it's amazing because we get a lot of calls and someone will say, what about this transaction? Or what about this address? Or what's happening with this? Robin calls and says, I want this family to get this house. I want this family to get this price. It's always leading by, I want this family. And it's epitome of what a realtor should be and how they should take it.
Well, and I think in any profession, right? Like I have always worked to treat people like I want to be treated. And sometimes it's a long road, but I feel like it always comes back. And again, it makes me so confident working with DART, with Joe. I know, and I tell my clients this. So it's frustrating sometimes when they go online and see some hype or whatever, but I think we're all kind of fighting that battle. But it's so rewarding when you see them get what they've worked so hard for, and it's not a dollar amount because it's always relative. Whatever, 150,000 to 900,000, whatever. It's just, and I think that's what led me to new construction. New construction is typically a longer process, and I build more of a relationship with the clients I'm working with. And I love working with them to design their homes and see that all come to fruition.
And working also with a builder who cares.
Yes.
So,
oh my gosh. I've worked.
as we'll get into.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Jumping ahead, we're going to get into the new home construction. I had a couple more questions before we do the deep dive into Eastbrook and all of that world. So one question that I did have is, I think it's so interesting that you did, stop the real estate business. You went in, you opened your own restaurant. How do you think that experience, opening the restaurant and doing that for 7 years, what can you bring from that makes you a better realtor today?
I think, again, in the restaurant, I also looked at it as a service business, and we were in a local restaurants. We had a lot of regulars that came in, and I love serving people. And I think it's a faster, being in a restaurant, waiting on people or serving people or doing banquets or whatever is just a faster process. But again, I think it's all about community. I love, and that's another thing with the new construction, I love building communities, and I love having that core group of people too.
Absolutely. So as a seasoned realtor, what is one piece of advice that you would give to someone who is just starting their house hunting journey, whether they are a first-time home buyer or just looking to move up?
The first piece of advice I always give everyone is call Joe. A lot of people want to jump ahead. They want to look at houses. They want to start working with plans. And Joe and I have talked about this a lot. They really need to know where they feel comfortable budget-wise. It might be higher than they think that they can go. It might be lower. Joe is so amazing with how he looks at their whole financial picture. And I always tell people, with him being a CPA too, he just offers so much more. So he can look at their whole financial picture, comes up with scenarios that is their best plan. And I feel like, Joe, you work like I do, like you advise them like you would advise yourself. And so once they have that information, I feel like we're golden, and to have that pre-approval. So whether it's resale, especially in the resale market, we're prepared to put offer in right away with a great pre-approval. DART's reputation makes a huge difference in the resale real estate community too, because a lot of times it gives you more power in a multiple offer situation. So that's something that I think is really important too.
Absolutely. So even if you aren't using Joe or DART, just having and getting with your realtor and making sure that you're using a trusted local lender. I feel like it's common that people are always out there shopping, trying to get the lowest rate. Yes, there may be some good programs out there, but you really want to make sure that you have someone that is first reputable, that knows that they're going to close on time, but that also has your best interests in mind. And that's why, I love working with Joe. I love working on the team. I love working at DART because pretty much everyone at DART always has your best interests in mind. So, and again, I will say we did not write the script for Robin to come out and give us all this promo. We do absolutely appreciate it. So thank you for that so much.
Once I find something that works, I like to stick with it.
Well, thank you. And we look forward to continuing this partnership forever. All right. Now we're getting into new home construction. So this is your new specialty. Yeah. So you have been doing this now for 8 to 9 years. You said that you've been
actually new construction for 21 years.
Okay, so new construction for 21 years, but you have been partnered with Eastbrook Homes for the past 8 to 9 years.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about, why did you choose Eastbrook, or, when looking at building, how did that partnership come about?
So actually, when I got back into real estate after closing our restaurant, I needed a job. I didn't have time to build up my real estate business right away. So I went to work for the first builder, and they were from out of the area. And I had worked with custom builders in the past. The industry's changed a lot. And when I first got into real estate, it used to be a neighborhood with 3 or 4 custom builders, and you choose one. And I had worked with that, a whole different process. And I went to work for my first semi-production builder. So had gained a lot of experience from that. Unfortunately, the market crashed in 2008. And that is when Ed McKenzie, who was the developer and owned the property that I was selling at that time, came and he opened his own real estate office, and that started Z Realty. So from that, we went to another semi-production builder for about 8 years. And after that, transitioned into Eastbrook Homes, which has been an amazing journey. They offer just such quality homes. Every day I feel thankful that I get to represent them. They're a semi-production builder, but they allow customization. So it's just a great for me to be able to represent a builder that I can offer so much to a home buyer.
And it's just so fun too, right? Because you look at these homes, and we were so thankful to be able to go the other week and go view some of these homes that we've been able to help finance, because most of the time we are stuck, doing the numbers, which we love, and we see everything on the computer, the plans and everything, but going to see it in person is so exciting. And that's something that you get to do a lot and walk them through the process. And all right, it's framed. Okay, we're putting this in. And that's just so exciting and such a fun thing to do. And Eastbrook Homes, I mean, we've worked with so many clients that go through. They are just so happy at the end of it and just so pleased with the quality of everything. And it really is just an amazing partnership that you have.
And walking through those, we see it on an appraisal, we see the pictures, but not only walking through their home, but walking through and seeing those views. And I'm sure we'll talk about wind trace, but walking the property itself. And it's something special.
It's a beautiful because it's not
place.
only about the home, but the location as well. For a lot of these new developments that you have, it's just fantastic. You go back and you're like, oh my gosh, this is so nice. I didn't know that it was back here. And you go back and then you sit in that little Michigan room and you got the little view of the pond.
It did help that it was a beautiful fall day.
It was gorgeous out that day.
It was a beautiful day.
And the thing that I love with Eastbrook is they're working with home buyers to customize the houses. They're all somewhat different and unique. And I love that. I love that people get to add their own personal touches.
Absolutely. So let's talk about when we have maybe a first-time home buyer, maybe someone looking to do their next move up. They're trying to decide, all right, do I want to do a new build or do I want to just buy an existing home? What would you walk them through then? Kind of the pros and the cons, and maybe like how would the new build differ from then looking at existing homes?
So, and I really truly want everyone to explore all their options. I don't want to push someone into building because I love building if it's not the right fit for them. So a lot of times I'll work with people, I'll show them existing houses and we'll compare between the existing houses and the new construction. What we have found in the last few years especially is it was a tight market. There wasn't a lot of inventory and the houses that were on the market needed a lot of work. So maybe for just a little bit more in money, they could build their dream house. And, and sometimes maybe they do find something on the existing market, but that's kind of how I have worked with people. Let's explore it all. Let's look at it. I spend a lot of time with people up front to make sure it is the right fit. And again, Joe has done a great job at working with me to talk about their financial situation and also help find the right fit for them.
I do think there's a huge misconception in the industry of especially first-time home buyers, even seasoned buyers, thinking that building is so daunting, it's so expensive, there's so much down payment. There's none of those barriers really exist quite the way people think they do.
I agree.
Yeah.
And it's sometimes challenging to get them to get to Joe, because I think in a lot of people's minds, especially if they grew up in a family that never had a brand new house, it seems like a far dream that they aren't going to realize. And sometimes, and I know you've seen it, Joe, their face when they realize that they can do it is just like you can't even describe it.
We had a first-time home buyer, a friend of mine actually, that has gone through this process, a lengthy process.
A couple years.
But he started from not being a first-time home buyer to being a first-time home buyer who's looking at existing homes, but after walking through the whole cycle, came to the conclusion that what I'm looking for is right here. And it has been here the whole time, but
it took a process to get him to that. And now he is so excited. And I think he doubled his budget. But he knows it's the right thing now, and he feels good about it, which makes me feel good.
And it's just so exciting, when they do make that decision, and not because you coax them into it, like you said, but making sure that they do see all their options and that they're making the right decision for themselves, and the educated decision as well, that you have the numbers in front of you, you've seen everything available in the market, you've guided them, and now they're able to start that process. So let's say, we have this buyer. They've looked at everything. Now they're excited to start the new build. What does that process look like? And for someone that has bought an existing home, how does that process differ from an existing home purchase?
So an existing home purchase, you're going to choose your house, you're going to put an offer, you get your offer accepted, you're going to do inspections, and then you're going to move to financing and closing. With new construction, with most people that I work with, they're usually kind of considering a couple of different plans, 2 or 3 different plans. So we'll work with pricing on those plans that they're considering. I usually like to take them to Eastbrook. We have an amazing design center. It's
Oh my gosh.
4,000 square feet.
It is beautiful.
And I don't think people realize, like, Eastbrook's been in business for 58 years. They have it down pat.
Yes,
Their
they do.
designers are amazing. I love to even be able to go in and watch the designers work. So I like to start off with a preview of the design center so they can kind of get an idea what their options are going to be. Like Joe mentioned earlier, the industry's changed a lot. So a lot of people, especially some older people who might have built in the past with a custom builder and don't have good memories of that, to show them how Eastbrook has gotten this process down from work. So we would decide on their house plan. They get assigned their designer. They go in and work with their own personal designer at Eastbrook's Design Center. It's an amazing process. And they're going over their structure again. They're choosing all their designs. And then all of that's put together. All along the way, Eastbrook's really good about pricing. So they don't ever want the buyer to be shell-shocked with the final price. And I don't either. So I'm always working to give an estimate. I try to have them right where they're going to be, if not high. And then their pricing comes in parts at Eastbrook Structure and then design options, and then they can still make changes from that. So it's a smooth, easy transition, and I have found that the buyers have been really happy with it. After they come out of architecture, then we do a pre-construction meeting, and the construction manager does an amazing job. He spends a couple hours going through the whole plans, and again, just making sure there's no misunderstandings, everything as the buyer expects, and then they go into construction. So it's a really great, fun, easy process, a lot different than, like you said, Joe, people expect.
And then Robin and her team jump out to the property and take updates and send you the updates.
We try to do video updates weekly. I have an amazing team. I have Joy and Maya and Jackson, and they do a great job too. And just doing videos and sending pictures. And Eastbrook also came out with their own personal app a couple of months ago.
Very exciting.
That is very exciting. So every home buyer has access to this app right on their phone or tablet, and they can look up their documents. They're getting updates, all their messages from design to construction to sales is all in one format. So I was really excited when Eastbrook came out with that.
I think that Eastbrook does such a good job because building a home is such an exciting experience, but it can be overwhelming in some ways, especially if you have certain realtors or a designer that maybe don't, explain everything or the pricing comes in, but Eastbrook helps you to just feel the excitement during it with providing those updates of, all right, here's what's going on now, here's what's going on next, like just adding to that excitement so that you just feel like appreciated or, they understand exactly what you're going through and want to help you, continue to feel that and take away a little bit of the stress.
And this is something we can speak to very clearly is we see the other side. When they are working with a custom builder and maybe not going through quite that same experience, and they're having anxiety about what's that final price going to come in. Do I have assurance on the value and the price, and do I have a clear understanding of what I'm picking out and how that's adjusting my price? And I think it's like the best balance of choice in a very organized system that makes you feel comfortable. I don't know if you remember, Robin, we had a customer years ago that it was a mother-daughter customer that built in this area, and they flew in. They only came in twice, once to sign their contract and once to build their house, and didn't come back until the house was completed. And I don't know another builder that could do that.
Oh my gosh.
With giving you the selections they wanted.
Well, and I'll tell you, you bring up a good point with the custom builders work off allowance amounts typically. Eastbrook is in a national partnership. All their pricing's locked in. So the home buyer knows where the price is going to be at when they're within one of our communities. there's not the point you just brought up at the end, them finding out, oh my gosh, I owe $50,000 more. And for me, as a representative, that's huge.
That could really change the excitement process of home
Right.
building.
And I
Let's
think
put it
that's
that way.
also a worry, I think, most recently as well, with going through COVID and lots of price increases. And we've heard stories of people, having to cancel their new builds because prices have tripled and, they can't afford it anymore. And so, being able to have that peace of mind and that security going through with Eastbrook is just it's just something that some people don't maybe think about when they're going through, but we know it's just like, you're going to really appreciate this.
Well, and even you bring up a good point during COVID when building materials skyrocketed. Eastbrook kept the pricing what they had promised the buyers. And there were several build jobs that I personally know of where Eastbrook lost thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
But they honored their contract. And that's, to me, huge. I heard of another national builder at that time period that canceled people's contracts.
A lot of them.
Yeah, especially in Florida. So that was another thing that made me even more loyal to Eastbrook, that I'm bringing people to such a reputable builder.
Yeah, and a family and owners that care about the end result, how your experience. They want you to build again.
They do.
I mean, and a lot of customers do.
I have people right now that are closing this week on their third build in 5 years.
And I think that really says something, not only to...
They said this is the last one. I'm like, no, let's keep going.
That says a lot, not only about you, for them going through you, but also about Eastbrook going through and using the same builder again because they love the process and continuing. Like, that is amazing. I feel like I've really never really heard of that, but that is awesome.
The other, and I want to say with Eastbrook, they have homes for the very first time home buyer, and they have homes for the more buy-up buyer.
Move-up buyer.
Move-up buyer. And another point that I love with Eastbrook, and I don't know that people think about this when they're first building, but they have an exceptional warranty program. Yeah. And, most builders offer a 1-year warranty. I've seen Eastbrook have things maybe come up because houses are built by people, maybe a few months after the 1 year, and they still took care of it. And I think that's really important.
Definitely. So that kind of leads me into my next question. From your experience, what are the top 2 or 3 non-negotiable questions a buyer should ask the builder before they sign a contract?
I feel like a big one would be, how long have you been in business? I think that's very important. For such a big purchase, I think buyers need to be cautious to not go with someone who maybe just started being a builder, because maybe they're great, but they're not going to last 2 years, and if you have an issue, you're not going to have anyone to come back to. I think the warranty is a big one, and the process. So how does your process work?
Robin, do people ever, do they ever contact a past customer or someone else that's built in the community? Do you recommend that, let's just say outside of Eastbrook, do you recommend that as a good thing to do, to check on a builder?
I think that's a great thing to do. And I actually show a lot of my homeowners will let me bring prospective clients through their houses. And I love it when they're home and they can talk to them and they can tell them how they felt through the process. And I feel it lowers people's anxiety.
I know with custom builders back in the day too, a common thing would be to check in with the vendors, like call the lumberyard, and the lumberyard could usually attest to this person is quality. If you're really outside of a big reputable place like Eastbrook, if you're looking at someone very individual, small builder, like even checking with their vendors.
That's a great point.
They'll have a
Really
pretty good
good
what kind of
point,
product they're using and what.
And the
reliability.
subcontractors they use.
Yeah.
What kind of quality of subcontractors? Eastbrook tries to use local subcontractors, which supports the community too.
That's awesome. All right, so let's talk about some of the projects that we have going now. So let's talk about Grand Ledge. For someone unfamiliar with the area, how would you describe the unique lifestyle and community feel of Grand Ledge, and what makes it a special place to live? And can you talk about, the project that's going on in Grand Ledge right now?
I would love to. Grand Ledge is probably one of the fastest growing communities. I love Grand Ledge. It gives you that rural feel, but you're within minutes of all the conveniences. Currently, we have Village Place, which was established as a best of living community. It features a heated pool, a fitness center, playground, sidewalks, nature areas, lots of beautiful landscaping. It is a great community for all demographics, but I love it because people know, if they want to know each other, it's an easy neighborhood to know each other with amenities. I see little kids out riding their bike, and people know whose kids go to who, and I think that's such a nice feature, especially today. And then we start Wind Trace, which is just south of Village Place. Both of them are in the heart of Delta Township. Delta Township is just a great pocket area. It has great services, wonderful water at a lower cost with Grand Ledge schools. And Wind Trace offers a larger lot size. It's a subdivision. Again, you feel like you're out in the middle of nature, but you're within minutes of all the city amenities and dining, and it's wonderful. We're working on starting another new community in Grand Lodge.
So exciting.
Yes, it's really exciting.
That Wind Trace, those just have you don't see a lot of new subdivisions in such a mature landscape.
And we try to save the trees. Our developer is real about trying to save trees, and that was wooded. It's so pretty. And another thing people might not realize too, with new construction, the community was built with the infrastructure to control stormwater. So there's storm system built in, which you may not find in an older neighborhood, and there's retention ponds. So like Wind Trace features all these beautiful ponds and trees, and
it really is beautiful.
It's so pretty.
When we were in some of the houses looking out, because in around Lansing we don't have a bunch of lakes around, but you still get these beautiful ponds to be able to look out and see nature and see the wildlife, and it was beautiful when we were out there looking out. Awesome. So Eastbrook Homes has a presence in Grand Ledge with these communities. And so what sets Eastbrook Homes apart? And you kind of talked a little bit about that, but what sets us apart from other builders in the area, particularly with quality or design?
I have been really impressed with Eastbrook's quality, and my progression of working through with previous builders, I've learned something along the way with all of them. Eastbrook puts more money into their homes internally that you can't see with their 2x4s. They use foam on all their exterior insulation. There's just so many aspects of their homes that you don't see, but it's in the bones of the house. They glue and screw all their subfloors down in drywall. I rarely see a nail pop. And I love to have people come so I can show them like our energy package. They're big about controlling like the humidity in the house, so they include your humidifier. Just the
little things,
pride they take in the construction of their homes.
And not trying to cut corners or cut costs, but have that quality there, because they know it matters, and it matters to their customers that they are able to not only build their dream home, but live in their dream home for years to come and have their family and maybe keep this as their forever home.
And it's actually a good resale point too. Whenever I go to resell Eastbrook home, it's like moves it up a notch.
Absolutely.
Too.
There's a story I'd like to tell that when I really realized what kind of partner Eastbrook was, is we had a high profile customer that was really pushing to get into their house, and closing was coming up. The Eastbrook team, and Robin, you can talk about it a little bit more, they have kind of a pool of people that will check the quality of the house before it's handed over. And they did their team walkthrough, and they determined that the paint was unacceptable. Like the paint job in the interior of the home wasn't to their standards. And the customer said, no, I'm signing off on it. I'm okay. I'm moving it. And they said, we will not release this home to you in this condition. We are repainting your whole home. It was unbelievable.
They do what they call a team walk, which I explain to people is like a quality inspection. They believe in delivering a complete, beautiful home to the home buyer, not have the home buyer try to come through and find the flaws in it. And they also give a 30-day paint touch-up. So when someone closes, if they nick the wall moving in, they'll come back in and touch it up for them. But I love that they do like that quality inspection, like you said. And I've seen them, things that I didn't even notice them totally redo and say, no, like you said with the paint, they've redone it.
Which truly is amazing. And just another testament to, their dedication to their customers, to their quality, to their reputation as well. And that's how they've been able to stay in business for 58 years now and continue to maintain that reputation is because of that and because of the quality checks that they have in place.
I agree.
So what are some of the key design trends or customizations for some Eastbrook home buyers that they are maybe excited about right now? When they're going through the customization, do you see any trends right now or something that they're like, oh my gosh, this is so awesome, this is really exciting?
Well, I think when you guys came through and toured, you saw Eastbrook has a feature option of their Michigan room.
I was just going to say, I hope you mentioned the Michigan room.
It's a 4-season room. It's spectacular. And I think that's probably a highlight of most people's homes.
Absolutely.
And you saw the views from it. So.
It's just the perfect room to go out, have your cup of coffee, have your little reading nook. I think Joy was saying like this is the perfect place to put up your Christmas tree. Everyone enjoy around here. It's just, like kind of those small things. I know it's another room, but it's just, being able to add on those special features that make it not only a home, but a welcoming area that just feels so welcoming when you have your family over and you have those extra places to go to and you have all the windows and the light.
We all want more light in Michigan in the winter.
Oh, absolutely.
So if you're building with Eastbrook Homes, don't forget to add your Michigan room.
Yes.
Very sorry if you don't.
Add the Michigan
Even if
room.
you don't add it though, Eastbrook actually features a lot of windows in their homes.
They do.
And I love that too. Another thing that they feature, which might sound crazy, but I've seen a lack of it in other builders, is they include a lot of closets.
Yeah.
I was going through some of the houses that we were walking through. I was like, oh my gosh, this storage space is amazing. And it's really not something that you think of until you own a home. And right now I'm a first-time home buyer. I've been in my home for 3 years. And I'm like, okay, I really see why people are prioritizing storage and closets. And I could really utilize some of these Eastbrook homes and some of these amenities that they have because it would be very nice.
And pantries is a big one.
And pantries.
All of our plans include a pantry, which is so nice.
Yes.
What I think is so amazing is these designers, so professional at Eastbrook, and they're constantly changing the product, looking at the product, and they know everything about those products. I mean,
they're so good.
It's pretty cool.
I can't say enough about them. And Eastbrook's also always updating their products that they offer, which is so nice. I heard the new trend is going to go to some greenish, sea misty colors.
Back.
Yeah.
I am all for that. I love the green. It's like kind of the earthy, those tones. I'm here for it. And maybe that will be one of the trends that they say in 20 years, oh, we need to get rid of that. That's going to be the millennial gray. I don't know what they'll call it now, but we're okay with that for right now. All right. So as we start to wrap up right now, Robin, if a listener is considering building a new home with Eastbrook in Windtrace or Village Place, what is their absolute first step and how can they best get in touch with you to start their journey?
Oh, great question that I love. If they can give me a call or email. We also have our model open every Saturday and Sunday in Windtrace. I welcome anyone to please stop by and tour that. It's located at 6695 Dixon Drive in Grand Lodge, right in Windtrace. I also wanted to mention quickly, we also offer off-site builds too, in addition to our communities.
That's a good point. So
Eastbrook just has to approve the site, and we have a great process for that too. So I would love, even if someone's just starting to explore, like, can I build? A crazy quick story. I had a couple I met, and they had student loans. And at the time, they just weren't in a place to build what they wanted to build. They went back, worked on their finances. True story, came back to me 5 years later. and built their dream house.
Oh,
and
how awesome.
So cool.
I want to tell you, 5 years goes by really fast.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So start planning.
It does.
So if I have someone who's at that point, it's still good to meet and let's get your plan going.
We talk about this all the time. It's never too
Right.
Because people say, I want to build in a year or I want to buy in 2 years. It's never too early to start.
Absolutely not, because
Right.
we can look and help you plan for that future. Be like, all right, where's our credit at? Are we okay here? Maybe we need to improve a little bit. What's our down payment like? Do we need to, do this? Where's our employment? We can help you set up that plan for the future. Getting pre-approved or getting with the realtor isn't just saying, okay, I'm ready to go. Like, let's get this process
Right.
going. It's saying, okay, I think this is something that I would like to do. I would like some advice, and we're here to help, and we're here to help you build that team, to help you build that ideal plan. And so it's never too early to reach out to Robin, to reach out to Joe.
Yes.
And reach out and just start asking questions.
We're your service people.
We are
We
your
want to
service
start
people.
the process.
We're in a service industry. We're not here just for the transaction, because we
Right.
want to help you get into that dream home. That's really what it's all about.
And these are 3 companies that are supporting us and backing us: Dart Bank, Z Realty, and Eastbrook Homes, who care about the community and have done a lot of
do.
good things for nonprofits and other things in the community.
Definitely.
All right. So, final question. What is one final real take that you want to leave with our listeners today about the future of new construction in the Grand Ledge area?
I feel like the new construction in Grand Ledge area is going to continue to boom. I think it offers a great lifestyle, a great place to raise your family or to be an empty nester. Like I said, you're close to all the amenities, but you feel like you're in a rural area. The city of Grand Ledge is so quaint and beautiful and offers so much. They're always doing festivals throughout the year. They have some local diners. It's just a great, great community.
Absolutely. Well, Robin, thank you so much for being on today. We are so honored to have you as our guest. We hope that this was helpful for our listeners, not only to learn about how wonderful Robin is, but to also learn about the build process and how it is with the custom builder and what that looks like. So if you are interested in that, please do not hesitate to reach out to Robin. We will have her contact information attached. And if you liked today's episode, please leave us a comment, a review. We would love to hear your feedback, and we will catch you next time on Real Take Real Estate with the Joseph team. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
No problem.